All right, we got everyone happy. He had to, the dog poops back there, so I cleaned it up very well. Put betadine down, flipped it over, so that's what the stain is, but, you know, very clean now. But that's how it is. Anyway, everyone's very happy. Morale was a little low, so I hung out with everyone. It's okay to do that, I think. Just giving my free-flowing thoughts. Yeah, the love is important. The love is important, guys. But then, you know, what happens is then you have to temper it, basically, you know. Because the rules of life come in and they start to test and this and that, and you say, okay, if you're gonna play games, I'm not playing games, but just want to let you know I love you guys. And they're like, okay. So no games, but lots of love. No BS. No, you know, love can be used. That softness can be mixed. You know, it's like we all have a monster in us in a way. That's the way I see it. We all have, human beings have been doing terrible things to each other for thousands and thousands of years. Everyone has that inside of them, women and men, in different ways, and we get triggered when we see it in other people. So we're like, hey, what's that? I have that too. Something along those lines. That's the way I see it, at least. The same exact thing with them. That's just why I'm making the comparison. Chester will see a dog with an ego who thinks he's the main man. Chester doesn't like that, you know. And I see it in them, and I don't like that, you know. Something along those lines. You know, I'm not a psychologist. I don't have it done to an exact science, but I guess I'm saying that we all have a more soulful side where the love is real, and then a more that monster side, you know. And if you mix them, where a dog is really in the side of themselves that's the monster, but they're pretending to be loving, then they're manipulating, you know. But then if you break through that, break through all the BS on that deep level, then you could have the real love. But both sides, I've had to learn about this from them a lot, and from you know, myself, and looking at people and everything. And you know, we all want, maybe it's a significant other, you want them to be an angel or the prince, the hero, whatever, whoever, if you're looking at a man or a woman, and that's when you get into trouble, when you get knocked with the reality that they are indeed also a human. And I'm saying that because the analogy is so close. It's almost the exact same thing as when we look at our dogs and we're like, my dog is not a dog, it is a baby, or it's, you know, my everything, my whatever it is. We romanticize because we see the soul and we're like, wow, I love that soul. And it's I don't even know where I'm exactly going with this, but I think it's good I've had to learn, at least, that we all have the soulful side, which is, I believe, a more fundamentally real side of who we are, but we're in these bodies, and the bodies have instincts to survive, and a lot of them are dark, and things along those lines. And so by understanding that you can't escape that, we cannot escape that there's a natural side which can be darker, and it is darker, really. Dogs kill things, they have hierarchies, they kick each other out of town. Nature's fairly dark, you know, I don't need to get into that, but by understanding those things and how to deal with them. And when the monster of a dog comes up and says this or that, I know I have to understand that I'm dealing not with the soul of the dog, but with the monster side. Then when you say, hey, basically, not in words, but I'm not playing the BS. Period. This isn't even you I'm talking to. This is basically an instinct I'm talking to. Then you can crack through that and you can figure out that puzzle. I think it's kind of the same with people. And then you're dealing with the soul again. It's the same with myself. And, I think we all know if you're cracking into, kids do it. It's like, mommy, please, I love you. It's got nothing to do with love. None of those things. Now you're getting into, you're mixing the monster and the, she's got a nice drool, but you're mixing the monster and the soulful side. And, it's so important to love the soulful side. Love, that's where it exists. See, but Chester stays in his ego a lot of the time, so, and you just have to know what it is. But the soul of Chester, I love the soul of Chester. It's an unbreakable, strong spirit, but he's mostly in his ego, so that's what I deal with, and I treat him accordingly. Patty is like, dude, I'm not in my ego right now. I'm in my soul. Can you give me some love? Like, please, like Patty's, that's how I feel Patty is, at least. She's like, I'm not in my ego. I'm not playing games. This is serious. Can you please give me some love? I have authentic anxiety. And I think it's really important to know the difference, because it's like, I don't know if you've ever been like that with maybe a person or something. It's like I needed you. It's like, whoa, I didn't know you were on that level. If you were, you treat them totally different. If somebody's being authentic with you, I think people listening might know what I'm saying. It's like somebody tells you something and they're like, I don't think you understand. That was from my heart. And it's like, okay, sorry, can you say that one more time? Because you're treating them as if it's from their ego, which is a totally different place. And anyway, I'm just kind of talking to myself to distinguish I don't know, maybe it'll be helpful for somebody, but to clarify that I've had to learn that there's both sides, and it's probably not, black and white, like either you're 100% in the animal or you're 100% in your soul, but that we all have both of those sides. And when it comes to the animal and the games and stuff, I'm not playing any games, but then when it comes to the soul, it's like the more soulful side, like how Patty is. It's like the love, that's where the love is. And anyway, I'm getting away from the basis of what I'm saying, but I think it's important to know that I've had to learn that there's a distinction. And when a dog's like, dude, I'm in my soul right now, can you please give me some love? Or, can you be here for me now? It's a totally different thing, and I will be there for them. And versus if they're trying to, work the system, play me basically, And if you can distinguish the difference and they can see you distinguish the difference, then they feel like they can trust you. And Patty's come down a lot because we were just hanging out. She feels like things are wrong in the world. Like, she feels the weight of the world, some things are wrong in the world. She's like, I need to go fix those. I hear you, Patty. I've felt it too. So I just hang out with her. That's when the love can come in authentically. Chester doesn't feel that. Rex was feeling that a little bit. So anyway, all is right. But then she'll get too amped up, and then I have to, back her off a little bit. But see, this is the games. This isn't Chester like. I need you. He's just playing. Chester runs on instincts. Always testing. That's why I'm saying it's important to know the difference, because if you have one dog, it's like, that's why blanket rules often I don't think are good. There's some that are good. It's like I don't think tug of war is a good thing to do pretty much ever. It's kind of like teach your dog to challenge you. There's some blanket rules, but a lot of the times it really has to be like, what type of dog are you dealing with? Where are they coming from? You know, Patty is coming from a totally different place than Chester. Patty's like cracked open, broken, got the weight of the world. Her heart's on her sleeve. That's not Chester. Chester's trying to figure out the puzzle in the game, you know? And so it's just important to know what type of dog you have so you don't do damage. You could really hurt Patty emotionally, you know? It would probably never show in the form of aggression, so maybe it would never become a problem that you would actually have to solve, but she would just suffer in silence, basically. And, you know, I want to help do everything I can to help relieve the suffering of all these dogs, because they come into our world and a lot of us are suffering. You know, a lot of us are just, society is kind of often, you know, I would love to, just, I was going to say society is suffering, a lot of it, in different ways. You know, different people are suffering in different ways. Some people it's financial, some people they have everything financial, and but they have a giant knot in their heart or their gut or whatever it is, you know. And then our dogs take that on. You know, it'd be beautiful to take this society and like do what I can at least to, you know, heal my little area of it. You know, I can't heal all of society, starting with myself, I suppose, which is the hardest, of course, right? But you know, bring healing green oxygenated energy, you know, like a healing area. It's like the world's this petri dish, a bunch of bacteria and problems, and then what if you just have like a little area where things start to get better around it, you know, that type of thing. I think there's a lot of people, of course, trying to do that, and I respect those people, and I'm trying to be one of those people. And you know, the way that I'm going to do that is through the dogs. And yeah, just sharing some thoughts I have. But yeah, it's important to know what type of dog you're dealing with. See, Rex is another dog who's a soulful dog. He's pretty much not dealing with an ego. He doesn't have an ego. He's like, man, I'm so stoked to be alive. So it's like, if you're going to be real with me, I'll be real with you, you know? And if you're going to play games with me, then I'm going to smack down the games, because I'm not playing games, you know? It's like, I know that game, you know? We're not. And then it's like, oh, okay. Then I'll just go back to being real. And, you know, the monster will always come back if there's a dog who likes to play games. And, you know, you can just acknowledge that. There's some other dogs I have who are like, they can't help it. They're like, dude, I'm so sorry, but like, I gotta play this game, and you gotta smack me down until I, you know, metaphorically speaking, not actually smack me down, but you gotta smack it down, shut down the game, and then they're back to their soul, and they just love that, and that's how they are. And you have to know what it is that you're dealing with. Sometimes you might love someone who's like that, and you're like, damn, this sucks. I think a lot of people have probably been in love with somebody who you found out the whole thing was a game, and that hurts too, you know. Anyway, I think I've rambled for long enough, but sometimes those rambling thoughts have some wisdom in them. Maybe I haven't even completely internalized, you know. But that's pretty much it. About to get going. All right.